There is no money in Cerro. The last time there was some was in 2005, and it was just enough to repaint a couple of grey facades. Not really a budget that can make a difference. One thing changed for sure in the last 50 years. All rich and beautiful, often sophisticated villas turned into ruins. Some of them collapsed totally. But this is a long and continuous process. The biggest rapid and positive change in the streetscape of El Cerro in last decades is happening since 2010. Calzada del Cerro was a busy car-oriented street for a long time, with almost no pedestrians and no reason for them to be there. Noise, pollution, and a common unsafe narrow sidewalks. A dirty and sad, jammed street, which primary purpose was to allow people from Havana Vieja and Centro to drive out to Havana's suburbs, or the other way around. Inhabitants of El Cerro rightfully avoided Calzada, but sometimes not the money is a tool that can make a change. In 2010, in a desperate move, again, Castro brothers decided to let a little of fresh air into Cuba. Since that year, Cubans are allowed to run their own small businesses. Barbershops, locksmith, tailor, street food sellers, repair point owners. Calzada del Cerro is still loud and polluted, but at the same time, it's alive. Hundreds of people work along its sidewalks. Portals became social spots where one can eat, have his or her shoes fixed, or get a new haircut. The financial potential of professions allowed by the law is not big. Still, more and more Cubans are making the step out of the national wages into a hard work, responsibility, freedom, and possibility of growth. Streets change with each new repair shop and ice cream booth. The offered services are extremely basic and very repetitive. There is still so much to do. There is no money, but there is will, and there is need. There is a tangible frustration. The first chance to turn it into productivity appeared in 2010 and resulted in an explosion of initiatives that is just beginning. There are new laws on the way, and they will create new wave of opportunities. Yes, some of Cerro's inhabitants are already too frustrated, and their dream of leaving Cuba is what they will turn into action when this country will open just a little more. But some don't want to leave, or just can't afford it, and productivity seems to be the best way to go. It's a mess. The shops, restaurants, the repair shops, they look like they need to be repaired themselves. Cubans are trying very hard to overcome the lack of materials and possibilities however they can. But with a little guidance and a good design and cooperation, exactly the productivity can be one of the biggest hopes for this district. And it will continue to change and influence El Cerro in coming years, because Calzada is alive. Cuba's economy reacted positively to changes of 2010. It still is losing money. It was given first by Soviet Union in pre-1990 era and now by Venezuelan dictatorship. But private initiatives that instead of losing money or just giving it away in order to support communistic ideas by paying workers without even demanding the work done for it, now are earning and paying taxes. Not big, tiny even, but just the fact of 500,000 workers that are now, instead of being in a national cost column, are an income one. Just getting them out of there gave Cuba 4% of GDP growth in 2015 so far. So let's get some more of them out. Why El Cerro does not have money? First, it isn't and probably never will be a priority over districts like Havana Vieja, Centro, or even El Vedado. Second, Cuba as a country simply does not have any money itself. Positive change that is happening on Calzada del Cerro since 2010 is a real-time visualization of the impact of these changes on a whole country. Cubans don't need to be taught how to fish. They need to be allowed to.
Accordingly, we have raised 3 design questions that initiated our research of business and productivity on site. First, what have been solved already through the post-2010 changes? Second, what new problems have appeared? Third, what new opportunities of solving problems in El Cerro have been presented to us with the recent changes? We have relevantly realized that the only feasible tool for the business-based research was to interview people who do the allowed businesses. We have made the map of the interviews, and so far we have collected and documented over 50 interviews. According to the most relevant ones, we have been convinced that the majority of Cubans are doing this for these three reasons. First, it's freedom, since this allows them to prosper from their own creativity. Second, perspective, since they do have possibilities of growing their business. Third, income, since they can earn a bit more. Through one of the most prominent interviews made with ex-economist professor, ex-director at joint stock French-Cuban company, who now owns a locksmith workshop and rents his own space for other businesses, gave us a lecture that more than 0.5 million of Cubans works in a small private business sector. And this meanwhile is appreciated by a state since it has produced a positive change in GDP by 4.6% yearly. Thus we started to answer our initially raised questions. First, Calzada del Cerro has become a social and business gathering area which made it alive. It will continue to grow and attract more people. Second, new conflict between car-oriented infrastructure and social business character of Calzada has appeared. Third, private business and its qualities have a potential of creating a new responsible group of people that at the same time has a steady income that would engage in necessary changes as they recognize the better quality of Calzada, the bigger success of their business is. We have also mapped differentiated accesses to the housing units, which reveals the configuration complexity and the issue of uncontrolled access to the units inside the block. Now we'd like to focus on the series of cuts we did in whole Calzada.
Majority of El Cerro's business is placed along its spine, Calzada del Cerro. The road is 4 car lanes wide, but in the south part of the district, its width drops to just 7 meters, and on the north, it's up to 18 meters wide. This factor creates a lot of dangerous situations. Additionally, along the whole street, it's not rare to spot areas where sidewalks are as narrow as 50 centimeters or even totally non-existent. This design does not create a positive environment for living nor for businesses around Calzada del Cerro. One could easily imagine a reduction from 4 to 2 car lanes that could create space for so many necessary changes, like introduction of safe sidewalks, bus stops, business outdoor extensions, and greenery.
Conclusions. First one. Calzada del Cerro is experiencing an important shift triggered by a dynamic growth of the diverse businesses that seduces people from El Cerro area. Second, car-oriented character of Calzada del Cerro is staying in the opposition of the quality of the business and social life in its surroundings. The third one, the only realistic source of money that can change the reality of this neighborhood are businesses. Creating an environment that would allow to benefit from this economic activity should be the priority for a district.